Hello, Saber fans from Saberland. It's a beautifully hot day in the UK. It's 30 degrees Celsius outside right now. I've got my window open. The dog's chilling downstairs because it's cooler down there. It's just a hot one all round for us. So there is a bit of background noise. I had to wake up super early this morning to take my dog out for his big walk. To make sure that we got out whilst it was cool before the sun really broke through and started roasting everybody. But yes, I spent the morning. It's been a really nice day actually, because I've just been in here with the dog chilling, and now he's gone downstairs, but we've just been doing install after install, and I've just finished this one off, which if you watched my last video you might be aware that I bought the AZ Sabers Verndari Hilt. I hope I've said that correctly. I bought it as a treat for myself. It's a beautifully designed hilt, nice and simple. I just wanted something that it's already got a chassis designed on. It's just like, oh, I just want something fun just for me, that isn't my own work, that I can just install and play around with. And this was a real nice little treat to myself. And they're very lovely, Tam and Katie. Oh, where did I put it? Where did I put it? Did I fold it? I may have done. I've got a lot of paperwork around me at the moment, but they include a nice little personal letter as well, saying thank you for your purchase and everything like that. It's really well presented. Obviously, you've got this beautiful box. As I say, do excuse the noises outside. There's bikes and cars and everything like that. Box is beautifully presented, got a nice AZ logo on there. Oh, I believe it was designed in collaboration with Stony Magnum. Yes, it was. Great design of the hilt, great design of this box. I'm struggling right now to get it open. I'm almost there. There we go. So yes, it's all foam padded, it's nice soft foam. Got a little pamphlet in there as well to scan the QR code to take you to the website to read the instructions. Came with loads of extra install parts, which I wasn't actually aware of. I knew it came with the chassis, but I wasn't aware that it came with some install parts as well. What I ordered, it came with the switch, the battery connectors, the kill switch, the speaker, and a load of wires as well, which is a really nice feature. So let's just go over the hilt. We've got a 1-inch blade emitter here with grub screw for blade retention. We've also got another grub screw here, which I believe is for chassis retention, but it might be more useful for those who are using the tri-crew, because I find I don't need to use it for the near pixel install. You've got the plunger here, single plunger, which is part of your chassis retention, because you have to unthread this and thread it back in, but it's easy to do. It's nulled, so you can grab it easily. So yeah, you've got that, which is really neat. Nice good spring in there as well. Then we come to the point where the hilt splits, which is really interesting. So you've got this knurling here, which is great because the rest of this handle down here is completely smooth. So if it ever goes tight on you, you've got the knurling to grip onto as well. Not that you need it. And you don't really need knurling because the threads are lush. The threads are really well machined. There's very little play in them. It's really well done. They become pre-greased, which is why you're not hearing any noise or anything like that. I'm personally not a fan of grease because it attracts dust and such like, but overall the threads are really well done on this hilt. Really well done. So it breaks down into basically two halves, which you can then insert your chassis, and then on this half here you've got your Covertech wheel, which, here we go, Covertech test, no problems at all, wonderful. And then you've got the pommel, which is just a really nicely machined bit of alley with some holes in it that break through this groove on the side for your sound vents. Really nice. Really good threading again. Whoa. Some people might not appreciate it, but I do. That's some really good threading. That's my inner nerd engineer coming out. Whoever machined those did a great job. So, right, now we get to the install. So they came with a chassis, which is great. As I said, I wanted to do something that was really easy, really simple, and buy something that isn't as common as it should be. I think a lot of people should own these. These are nice hilts. And believe it or not, this is the first chassis I have ever owned that isn't my own. This is the first chassis I've ever installed that isn't my own. I've always designed and printed and installed my own chassis in all the hilts that I have, which I think I must be 60, maybe more. And now I get an opportunity to install somebody else's, and this is great. It's really awesome. Print's really good, really good print quality. They even got Verndari. I don't know if you can see it on the print. So they're taking the time with their printer, getting some good quality prints out of there. You've got two options in the box. You've got a heatsink module that can sit on the top for your Tricrete, or you've got this printed NeoPixel adapter, and both just kind of friction fit onto the top, which is really nice, and I'll come back to that in a moment, providing I remember to come back to it. You've got a little window at the back here to help you with your wiring, which is really neat. It came with this switch down here, which I've 3M taped the back of it in. I didn't want to glue it, I just wanted to make it sit down, and if I wanted to get it back out, it's nice and easy with 3M tape. And then you've got this battery cover. I don't tend to worry about doing battery covers on my chassis, but the battery cover is a really neat feature, really like it. And you can get some nice neat wiring in there because they've got wiring channels inside here as well. And you've got these battery connectors here. I'll go over those in a moment. I don't use these battery connectors for a reason, and it's just personal preference. It's just personal preference. But then the battery cover clips back into place, doesn't fall out, and you're really well done. This is the board retention. It also has the kill switch that is supplied with the hilt in there as well. It's a big beefy kill switch, which is good because you know it can handle the amps, and it fits in there perfectly, and you can turn it on and off really easily with your little finger. And this is a unique board retention design to them. Really neat because this whole unit here is kind of like a tight fit with a little bit of, it's got some like clip areas on the sides of it, some knobbly clip areas, and what it does is, so your board fits in there all wired up really nice, and you're wired in your kill switch into this part here, and the board doesn't have to be a press fit on the sides. It can just go down there, and then this bit fits on top, and this bit clips on top of the board to hold it in place, which is really neat. Really neat design that they've come up with. I like it a lot. Really well done then. This is something I haven't seen before. Could be unique to them. I think it's really good. Well done. Well done. It's a really good one to incorporate onto a design, especially this when you're trying to hide everything. Really well done. Then we come to the speaker, because you might be wondering how you access the SD card in there. I'll show you in a moment. The speaker is the biggest nitpick I have, and when I say nitpick, I love this hilt. I think the installs were very well thought out. The inside of this is 27.5 millimeters. Well, mine's measuring 27.4, 27.43, and this is a 27 millimeter speaker. So usually when I design a hilt, I design it to either have a 22, 24 or a 28, preferably a 28 or a 22. I'm not big on 24s myself. I've never used a 27 millimeter speaker, so this is a brand new experience. I'm not big on this type of speaker, and this is just a nitpick. Some people might like it. I'm personally not a fan. So the reason I've put tape around here, there's two reasons around here why I've done it. Actually, the first, no, I'll tell you what, I'll take it off first. I can always put more tape on, so it's fine. It's not a problem. So when you wire it up, you have got external solder pads on the outer diameter, and these protrude further out on the outer diameter than the actual speaker itself, which I've measured, and it comes out at about 27.1 millimeters on the biggest OD. So when it's in a hilt of about 27.4, you've got about 0.3 of a millimeter space overall, so that's 0.15 millimeters per side of space. These solder tabs can protrude a lot further than that, and I know they can because I saw it, I noticed it, and I tested it. I dared to test it, I dared to cause a problem. I personally, after I installed this and I had these pushed in as far as I could, and I flattened the solder as much as I could to make sure, and even I'm pushing them down now. I haven't got a battery in here, so it's perfectly safe at the moment, but when I put it in, sound was playing, and then it hit the ID down here, and it immediately started to try and arc out. So I quickly removed it, no damage was done, but I dared to push it. So I don't like it for that reason. And another reason I don't like this speaker is because it's open-aired round here, which, if you capture a speaker fully, the sound quality is really good outside of the hilt. So some people like the sound quality to be good in and out of the hilt. As it is right now, the sound quality without the tape on isn't very good. Let's see if I can demonstrate that. So as I'm coming to demonstrate that, the reason I don't use these kind of battery tabs is because when I put the battery in, I'm not sure if you can see that, but that's bending the whole chassis print as it's going in. And then it gets to a point where it clips in and then that bend snaps back into position. I'm not big on that personally. I don't like it. It's the number one reason why I use the spring-loaded battery tabs, where you can pop it in one side and then it pops up like that, so it doesn't bend your chassis. But saying that, if I hold this down, you're never going to have a problem. Like so. So that's in there nicely. Put the battery cover back on. Now I know I've done something wrong because I can't put the battery cover back on all the way. Something's going on. Okay, well, it's kind of snapped in there. It's not down all the way. Something isn't quite right, and the wires behind the battery are all in place and absolutely fine, so don't really know what's going on this time. But there we go. Okay, it's going to be fine because I haven't hit the high amp kill switch yet, so there's still plenty of room down there, so it's not a problem. So I've forgotten where I was. Put the battery. Oh yes, sound quality. So if I flick this switch on, it's really quiet. Really, it's not very loud at all. And the reason they've done it with this kind of speaker is so you can access the board. I fully guess it. It's really clever actually. Pop this off, it's friction fit, then you can access your SD card down there, and then you just put your speaker, push it back into position, and it holds itself nicely. However, I have found with the solder tabs and the venting here, even inside the hilt, I am better off with tape. Obviously, so make sure there is no electrical damage if it arcs out on the outside, on the inside of the hilt. So all I do, and it's a really simple fix. That's all it is. It's dead simple. And I'm not sure if the intention is that you're meant to tape it anyway. So do that, get that down nicely, and you will notice now it's a lot louder. It's a lot louder. So that's the thing about speakers. If they're encapsulated, even with just tape, they project the sound a lot better. And yes, insulating those tabs was a must, an absolute must. So when I was coming back up here, this is a clever design. So when I put the NeoPixel connector by stock into this printed adapter, I wasn't sure if I was going to need to glue it or it would be a friction fit, and it had a little bit of fit on it. It wasn't tough to put in at all, but it needed a little bit of extra securing. I didn't want to glue it, like I didn't want to glue down this bit, because I went into this precautiously, with caution, because I'd never installed somebody else's chassis before, and I wasn't sure if I'd like it or not, and if I'd have to design my own to make myself happy. But this was really clever because I didn't have to glue down the pixel, right? Put the pixel connector on here, it's all wired up. My pixel connectors are always the last thing I wire up on any chassis. And I put it down, and because I pushed down on here and twisted this print, like so, round on the chassis, that is just kind of a press fit onto, a push fit, sorry, not press fit, push fit onto. And as I turned it, it binds the wires nice and neatly, but when you bind the wires like that, it also pulls the unit down. So as I was turning this, it was pulling the PCB down, so I didn't require any glue whatsoever. So that was really neat. I was very happy about that, because if I wanted to come back and uninstall it to do my own chassis, or if I needed it for something else, it's dead easy to do. So that is a great little feature there. I'm not sure if it's intentional. I don't think it is intentional, because you get a separate heatsink unit to put in here for a tri-crew anyway, but it just worked out that way. It was really good. Big fan of that. So I'm a big fan of the board retention design, big fan of how easy it is to get a switch down there and secure it in place. I used a bit of freehand tape, and big fan of how easy it was to secure the MPXL connector up here. Only flaw, speaker. So now we've gone over the install, let's get it into the hilt. So I'm going to unscrew the nice knurled plunger, insert the chassis into here. So a good thing about having a half and half battery cover is that once you've got your chassis up here, that battery cover can't come off because half of it is retained by the upper part of the hilt. Thread that down all the way, like so. And now, because I've added tape here, it's a little bit of a tighter squeeze down here, but the solder pads aren't bursting through the tape. Might have to deactivate that twist on feature or add make the threshold a bit higher. So we've got good sound venting at the bottom. It's just as loud as any loud Saber out there, so it's really good. And then you've got nice windows at the top here. You've got a 1-inch blade emitter down here, which has got a nice deep blade depth. Let's plug a blade in. Plug it all the way down. Tighten up your grub screw. Now, I haven't got a lot of room around my desk, as I repeat many times on many videos, so I'll try and do this without hitting anything. Very nice. I haven't loaded any extra fonts onto the Golden Harvest V3. I've just got the stock fonts on there at the moment. I can add some later. And there we have it. A beautiful Verndari Hilt by AZ Sabers, made in collaboration with Stayner Magnum. It's a really nice hilt. If you've got some cash, don't know what to do in terms of what lightsaber you're going to get next, this should be a purchase that you should consider heavily. I really like it. It's slim in the hand. It's not the slimmest I've ever had, but it fits perfectly. I don't think it should be any slimmer than what it is, because it's a beautiful hilt, and that bit of aluminium, that big bit of aluminium pommel there, adds a bit of weight in the back end of it, which is really nice. I believe they designed this with the intention of swinging it around, and I can feel it in hand. It's going to be a beautiful one to swing around. Really well thought out, and the threads, I love how good the threads are. Yes, really good. So I think they deserve a bit more attention for their work. Go check them out. Go drop them a message. They're very friendly, and yes, spend some money with them, because this hilt is very much worth. And it's not even an expensive hilt. That's a good thing about it. And their instruction manual is very clear, very thorough. What you get with the empty hilt, you get a lot for your money's worth. Great people. Go check them out. That's it for the moment, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hit the like and the subscribe and I'll catch you in the next one. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.